What has the job hunt been like for them? When did they graduate? What did they study? And what has life been like for them? That's what we'll be finding out shortly. I want to find out from you as well, what has been your experience? This, of course, being awakened by that story on Sunday, first-class betrayal. That story of a young man, Kevin Ochieng, who explained how he got a first-class qualification from a university, actuarial science, but has not been able to secure a job after that. They say education is the key to success. Well, for him, that has not been the situation. At least that's what he feels. And so we want to know from you. 22422 is the SMS line. The hashtag is Daybreak. Talk to us. But just to refresh your memory a little bit, here's a snippet of that story about Kevin. And of course, this was a story done by Makori Ongechi on the next day after we had aired part one by Purity Mwambi. And let's listen to that report brought to us by Makori Ongechi.
My name is Kevin Ochieng. This is Mathare slums in Kosovo.
It was until Sunday evening when Citizen TV highlighted the unfortunate story of Kevin Ochieng that Kenyans of goodwill touched by the story offered to assist.
I successfully got a first-class honors.
Among them, companies, top managers and CEOs. The first-class actuarial science graduate from the University of Nairobi who spoke to Citizen TV on phone confirmed that he had a busy Monday engaging top brands willing to offer him a job opportunity. On Monday alone, Kevin had attended 2 interviews at Jamii Bora Bank and Triple OK Advocates. The elated Kevin also confirming that he's scheduled to appear for similar interviews at Vivo Energy, Naivas Supermarket, UAP Old Mutual, among other organizations seeking to tap his knowledge. Migori Governor Okoth Obado has also reached out to Kevin seeking to offer him a job opportunity. That a struggling graduate who had almost lost hope after his countless job applications were turned down can in hours stare at an array of job offers, only giving a new perspective of the diluted Kenyan job market. Thousands of unemployed graduates went online to narrate and share their experiences. For instance, Mashari Njanja says on his Twitter account, "I graduated last year, sent over 500 job applications via email, numerous stomaching the city with no success." He also attached his certificates. Balozi Anthony Mukena on his Twitter account narrates a similar experience. He scored 404 marks in his KCPE and an A- in KCSE. Second-class honors upper division in international relations and diplomacy, and after 3 years, he's still jobless. Their experiences, just to mention but a few, painting a picture of hopelessness among graduates, while questions abound as to how the jobs that initially seemed to be absent now emerge. The Kenya Private Sector Alliance now says it will be offering jobs to top students. The story of Kevin only representing the story of many other Kenyans who, despite graduating with different degrees from Kenyan campuses, end up living a miserable and harsh life. Makori Ongechi, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
All right, I'm already told we have some feedback. We'll be looking at that shortly, but I must tell you this, as that story was airing, some of our guests here were nodding their heads. They can't understand, where have those jobs been? How have they suddenly materialized out of thin air? And do you have to have your story carried out on radio or TV for you to get a job in this economy? That's what many people are questioning. Christopher Olo, who is a roommate to Kevin Ochieng, joins us on the program today. Christopher, thank you for finding time to be here with us. Asante sana. Kindly tell us, what has the experience been like? You are the one who hosted Kevin, and you've seen what has happened before Kevin was known, when the story aired, and after. What has it been like? Tafadhali tuambie.
Thank you for this discussion.
Please put the mic closer to your mouth. Go ahead.
Thank you for creating a forum for this kind of discussion. My most recent one was very demoralizing. It was, in fact, we were with Kevin. It was at River Estate, the government housing program in Ngara. You know, we went there, we were told their jobs, since the construction will be going on for a very long time. So we thought we could get a job there. And when we went there, the requirements were just out of, they didn't make sense. Yeah,
for example,
you're looking for a simple job, a construction job, a casual laborer. Yeah, we were with Kevin. We went there. Now, for example, they were asking us for, first and foremost, they wanted CVs. Yeah, for that kind of job, which we have, by the way. They also wanted good conduct certificate. By the way, me and Kevin, both of us, by that time, they were expired. We needed to renew. They wanted NHIF, NSSF, and we couldn't produce them at that particular time. Yeah. So we didn't even get those kind of jobs.
And you felt that it was not your fault?
Yeah, it was not my fault. How do you tell me? Now, like, if I had to get that job at that moment, I needed to raise at least 4K. For both of us, that was 8K. Remember, we were unemployed, and for even to get there from Mathare to Ngara, yeah, we had walked that place.
Na hii kazi ya mjengo.
Yeah, we had walked to that place, and we still couldn't get that. It is that serious, demoralizing. I believe a lot need to be done, especially where this simple jobs is concerned.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's hear from a lady, Jennifer, if you could take the mic. So get this, according to a basic labor report for 2015-2016, according to the Kenya Statistics Agency, it estimated that there were about 1.2 million unemployed Kenyans between the ages of 15 and 34. That's the young part of the nation. Jennifer, the senator for Nairobi, Johnson Sakaja, said one day in Parliament, and I quote, "Kenya has a government at war with its young people, with its youth." Do you feel like that? Is Kenya's government at war with its young people? Is Kenya's society at war with its young people, not wanting young people to succeed, cheering them on, etc.?
And as you do that, please introduce yourself and your qualifications and whether you have a job, whether you're looking for one.
Yeah, so my name is Jennifer Gidu. I recently completed my law exams at the University of Nairobi. I'm awaiting graduation, hopefully. Of course, my experience has been different. And I wanted to talk about the varied experiences that young people go through in terms of looking for jobs, because for those who are graduating from campus or from college, the experience a different kind of challenge when they're looking for jobs. And even for those who dropped out of, or rather who did not make it to college, it's different. And those even who did not make it to secondary school, it's very different. They see different opportunities. So for a young person who's just, for example, finishing law, they're looking for opportunities in law firms, audit firms, NGOs, etc. And for people who probably did not get to go to college, they're looking for something different. So we have to first recognize that there are different experiences, there are different perspectives when it comes to the job market. Then there's, of course, unemployment and underemployment, which is what really affects me most. So I started doing internships from first year. And I joined campus because I realized that's the first thing I noticed. I'm in a flooded profession. I'm going to have challenges when I finish. So I started really volunteering. A lot of the work that I was doing was volunteering in a bid to understand the market, get networks, because in Kenya you have to know someone to get something. So my experience has been very different.
Who told you that? Is that something you learned? Did someone tell you that you have to know someone? Is that
yes. It's a fact. It's a fact. A lot of these things you have to know someone to actually even get that interview.
So do you feel as if the Kenyan government is at war with its young people?
Yes, to answer that, yes, I feel that there's this tug of war in terms of even the initiatives that we're taking. First, we don't understand our youth dynamic or our youth demographic. We don't understand how many are interested in agribusiness, how many are interested in entrepreneurship. We keep throwing entrepreneurship at young people, assuming that it will work for everyone. So you're throwing entrepreneurship at a young person. They don't have capital. They don't know where to start. So there's a lot. We keep doing initiatives. Let me finish. We keep doing or coming up with initiatives, and we're not even consulting those young people. So we launch initiatives that are geared to help them and etc., but we're not even having this conversation with them. So the fact that we're not on the table when these discussions are being made, we're not even consulted, that feels like a tug of war. It feels like there's this disconnect between the policymakers and the young people on the ground.
Juliet, Jennifer has said something very important there. They're just throwing entrepreneurship at young people's faces, and not everyone can be a businessman or businesswoman. Why? Why is that the case? Is entrepreneurship going to be the answer to unemployment not only in Kenya, but even on the African continent, given how many young people are on this continent?
Okay, I work in the human resource field, and we all have different personalities. Not everyone can become an entrepreneur. And I agree with her 100%. There are too many initiatives. Even after that story, people are coming up with new initiatives. But have you talked to these young people to understand exactly what their problems are? Let's say, for example, I'm born and bred in Nairobi. Then you want to throw agribusiness to me. I don't even relate to that. So I think the initiatives that they need to come up with, they also need to talk to the young people, understand. Some of the initiatives, for example, like when we were discussing, is they will come, they will do a project, and then they will take me as a graduate to go and do an internship in a company. But have they asked me, like, these things are just thrown to young people, and when I talk to them, even when we do interviews, they're not... they're just doing some of the things. For example, if you went to a public university, you are called to do a course. So a computer system is the one that tells you which course to do.
That determined.
Exactly. So that happened to me as well, and I'm sure it happened to so many people who went to public university. So sometimes you don't have any choice. You go to class, you do what is required. Most of the young people, they go to class to pass exams. Because you are 1,000 in a class at the University of Nairobi, and then you can't even hear the lecturer. There's no microphone. Like some of these things, like
they're small, but
they're small. Exactly, because for example, if I go, let's say, to a private university and I see the facilities that they have, I feel that my government has neglected me as a young person.
So the access of the quality of education matters.
Yes.
Okay. And we'll give the panel a better chance to be able to comment as well. But before the mic gets too far away from Chris, I wanted to find out one thing. Since that story aired, what has happened, and are you surprised?
Yeah.
Please put the mic closer to your mouth.
First of all, it has been overwhelming. We haven't had much conversation. Kevin is my roommate up to this moment. It has been overwhelming. We haven't had much conversation with him because the job offers here
are so many.
There are so many.
Simu inalia kila wakati.
Yeah, it's the reality of open doors. Yeah, like that's what he said this morning.
It is the reality of open doors.
He's overwhelmed. Yeah, he's overwhelmed. Yeah, like that particular night, we didn't get to watch it, but we knew it was going on. Yeah, a lot of people are calling him after the story aired, and they all wanted a piece of him. Yeah.
Okay.
Me thinks they are jobs.
You believe there are jobs?
Me thinks they are jobs.
Where are they?
I'll surprise you.
Where are they? Go ahead.
Like, I'll tell you something. Yeah. We were sharing the same phone. My SIM card was SIM 1, and his SIM card was SIM 2. I'll tell you one thing. The guy. Some of the people called him, are from the companies he had applied jobs to before.
From companies that he had applied for jobs and had not called him back.
He had gone for interviews.
He had gone for interviews?
They didn't consider him. Some didn't even shortlist him. Some didn't even shortlist him. Yeah, but now they are calling him. Me thinks they are jobs.
Okay.
Yeah? Well, I believe what we need to do, there are stuff that we can do. I think it's an attitude problem. Let me put it that way.
By employers or by young people?
It's a society thing.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Attitude means that we've allowed certain habits, You know, everything you do, it begins with an act, The act becomes an habit. An habit stands into your character.
Yes.
And that's become who you are.
Okay. I want you to hold it there because I know you have a lot that you want to say. I want you to give the mic to this gentleman because we also want to hear his experience. Introduce yourself. Tell us what are you job hunting? Are you working? What's that been like for you?
Thank you very much for hosting me. My name is Edward Gedaiga. I'm a graduate for psychology. I'm not employed. I'm self-employed. The reason why I became self-employed is because I looked for a job and I couldn't get one. Because
how long did you look for a job?
I looked for a job for a very, very long time. One thing I know about Kenya is young people are being discriminated upon. Even from the house, even from the local level. You know, even in your home, people don't have confidence with young people. They believe that we don't know what we want in our life, and we don't know where we're going.
Is it because of the stereotype that young people are lazy, they're entitled,
Yes.
microwave blessing generation?
There's a stereotype on that as well. But where Kenya is heading is not heading to a right place, because a revolution is going to happen very soon.
Now you're speaking like a politician.
No, I'm speaking with reality. Because when you walk around everywhere, look at this gentleman just said the other day Uhuru Kenyatta launched the project in Ngara, and he said he's going to employ people. This is a graduate. Forget about the person who doesn't have any skill, technical skills or information or knowledge, or even graduated in college. He is graduated. He walked all the way from Mathare to Ngara, and yet he couldn't get a job. So there's a serious problem with our society, and it's high time the whole society sits down and looks at itself. When you go to UK, they have something called equal opportunities, right? So young people need to be given the opportunity to learn and to work, because the jobs they're getting, it's not a matter of getting a job. It's a matter of getting a job so that you can feed your family, pay your rent, put clothes under your body.
Just trying to survive.
Just to survive.
And you feel like if a revolution was to happen, it would be because young people are frustrated.
They're very,
tired.
very frustrated. And I want to speak to the leadership, especially the president. He has a good heart, but in the civil service, that's where the big problem is. Because like she said, you have to know somebody, right?
But it's not just the civil service that hires. What about
Even
the
the private sector? Even I had the gentleman talking about a stipend is not the right thing. I mean, what are they going to do? How can you say a stipend is not the best thing to give them? Let Kenya even be a welfare society, because in the end of the day, youth is just a stage. And in that stage, if the youth do not get the right things that they need, then we have a failed state.
Okay.
I mean, Lee, you're a project,
yeah.
sorry, Lee, let me come to you as the chair of KEPSA Foundation. When you hear him saying that, he's frustrated, and even we've gotten Chris's example, simple labor job. The requirements are crazy. Is it fair?
Yeah. Thank you for
No, he has a
sharing.
mic. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. And we who are in business share the same view that we have a responsibility to our young people. I personally am very committed to young people, and the youth, and the future of this nation will prosper when the young people prosper. However, we need to understand that the issue that you have raised here has built over many years. The matter of jobs, 1 million young people are coming out of into the job market every year. And therefore, we need to be able to have solutions that address that kind of scale, the scale of millions of young people. And the challenge that we have is that our education system, for over the years, even for us, when many years ago when we went to school, taught us that you go to school so that you must get a job. And I think that was one of the fundamental challenges and errors that have happened, because the mindset of only getting a job without being told, by the way, you can also work for yourself, you can look for opportunities to create a job for yourself and for others. So the mentality that I must get a job, and with the respect to you today here, is something that we now need to change. And we need to teach entrepreneurship right from school, so that when you come out, you know that you have options. You can either get a job, but if you do not get, you can also be able to look for opportunities to employ yourself and others. These are the realities we must face today.
Okay.
Well,
yes.
Very quickly, Mr. Lee, although a lot of people would say, even though I was to go into biashara and become an entrepreneur, it's still the same government that will frustrate me. They don't pay people on time. It's still within the cycle.
I think I want to say, the role of government is not to employ people. And that is what we must remove the idea that it is the responsibility of the government to employ people. The responsibility of the government is to create an enabling environment for business to thrive enough to absorb a lot of people into work. And therefore, what we should be demanding from government are not jobs, but an enabling environment for where jobs can come from. And that's why in KEPSA, as private sector, the attitude we have taken right now is to support policies that can expand the opportunities for jobs. The Big Four, for example, which you have already mentioned here today with housing, is a very good opportunity. The Big Four, successfully implemented, is already an avenue for creating jobs for a lot of young people. We at KEPSA also have what we are calling an economic transformation strategy effort. And what we have been looking, and we want to say that that disconnect that we don't care for the young people is not true. We have chosen as KEPSA and the private sector to find a way of championing the agenda of the youth and the agenda of the micro, small and medium enterprises.
Tell me this briefly, because I know we need to bring in Lorna as well.
Yeah.
We are told you have an initiative called For Jobs to A Students.
Yes.
How is it going to be rolled out? Why now? Briefly tell us this.
No, this is this was not triggered by the.
It sounded like it was.
No,
it was
we
not.
We have been KEPSA and the private sector. We have been on the area of jobs for quite some time, and we had what we call the Kenya Youth Employment Project, where we targeted thousands of young people, training them, and most of them have been able to get jobs or employ themselves. For the last 7 years, we have been walking this journey, and in partnership with the government. The Ajira project, which is jobs on the digital platform, has also been part of our initiative. It is also working, targeting thousands of youth.
Okay.
Right now, what we are saying is that we also welcoming those who have done very well to place them in some of the companies that are part of our membership, so that they can thrive. So
has it started or not yet?
Yeah,
for those who are watching and saying, how do I apply?
No, that we are going to roll it out is now work in progress, and is going to be off on the platform fairly soon. So there's and also lastly, we also have YEFO. We have started what we call the Youth Enterprise Forum. In fact, the chair of YEFO in KEPSA is here.
Okay, and I will come to her after the break
and
to give her a
that
comment.
initiative is to try and mobilize and marshal policies, ideas on creating platforms for young people to prosper around enterprise.
Okay.
So that is one of our ongoing initiatives. So we are looking at several ideas to expand the opportunities for both jobs and also self-employment for young people.
Okay.
Yes.
I know that we are due for a break, but Lorna really quickly wanted to jump in. Go ahead.
Yes. So I just wanted to mention that, so what we do at UCD, we have a program called Jijali, where we train young people on career and entrepreneurship skills. And in that, there are a couple of things that we've observed. So the first thing we've observed is that job searching is actually a skill. Like, to be able to craft a good CV, to be able to do well in an interview, to be able to convince someone to give you the job, it's a skill. And unfortunately, it's a skill that a lot of young people don't have, because you're just given the degree and you're told, go out into the world. So what you're trying to do is to give young people the skills that they need to actually apply for jobs and be successful in that. And we've actually seen some really good results with the work that we're doing. The second thing that we've observed is that people need to talk more about the skills that they have, because you can have the certification and that's fantastic. You have a degree, good job. But then the question is, what can you do? What is your key skill? What can you actually, what can I pay you to do? What is impressive about you? And the third thing that we've observed also is that a lot of young people are starting businesses because they can't find jobs. In our previous program, when you mentioned the number of people who are able to find jobs out of our program, so many of the entrepreneurship candidates wanted to move to the career one because they said, oh, I can find a job, I don't start the business anymore. So can we get to a point where people are starting businesses because they've seen an opportunity? Can you give them the skills where they can spot opportunity and see something that I can actually make money from this, and not coming from, I'm desperate, I need to find a way to make money. And finally, I'd just like to challenge you because you said something about jobs for A students, but the way our curriculum is created, it's geared towards people who can memorize a lot of facts, and they have a different type of intelligence.
To agree in agreement with you.
So the thing is, B students, C students, D students, all of them can do something. So the thing is, how
they just can't memorize as good as the A student. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. My strength may not be mathematics, but for example, I'm a fantastic content writer. I can write excellent blogs for you. I may not be able to do physics, but I'm a good photographer, or I don't know, whatever it is. So the thing is, can we start now maybe looking more at what skills do you have, and how can we help you to sharpen those skills and to be able to explain those skills to me?
And looking beyond the A student.
And looking beyond the A student, because I feel like that's what is giving people so much pressure. I remember, like, I know so many people who got an A- and they were extremely disappointed with that because they thought, I have an A-, I won't get a job. And yet right now they have jobs. So kind of changing the mindset around the grade and focusing more on what can you do, because right now the gold is not in the grades, it's in the skills.
Wow. All right. So we need to take a quick commercial break. You're watching Degree versus Success. We still have a few more voices that we need to hear from. Keep sending us your tweets and your thoughts and your SMSs.
Have some.
We can read. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Your SMSs and your tweets in regards to this conversation. Just BT says the country must redefine wealth and wealth creation. Like I always say, a degree is one of the many tools we acquire along the way to create a sustainable life. It is not the only tool, so think outside the box, diversify your possibility. You continue to say that Kenya's business sector comprises of survival entrepreneurs whose longevity is not guaranteed. The economy is yet to manifest businesses that create long-term employment.
Okay, we have another tweet here. Engineer Lazaro, the rate of joblessness in the country is showing our learning institutions aren't equipping students with life skill techniques that can make themselves reliant. Choosing careers needs wide consultations. Okay, hashtag Daybreak.
Wainaina56, good morning. You say stipend for unemployed youth is no way to go. Youth need chances, not sympathy. They said education was the key. We went to school, got the keys, and how they have changed, and now rather, they have changed the locks.
Okay, very interesting there, Wainaina. At Thank God Jugush, after that Kelvin jobless predicament, finally he has secured a job. But how many more jobless youth should wait to be seen on TV to get a job? Very good question. Two more, I'm told, Zinzi. Faiwama.
You say, I have a master's in peace and conflict resolution, diplomacy, rich profile and great passion. Though by now I would be of great service to Kenya's foreign affairs. I've tried to get a foreign affairs for over 7 years in vain. Why?
7 years, my goodness. Okay, at D Kaune, if Kelvin wasn't qualified, why then did he get so many job offers after his story was aired? Unemployment in Kenya depends on whether you are from a well-off background or not, except for a few, of course. That's what we're getting on Twitter. 22422 is our SMS line. Send us your thoughts as well on the same. We take a quick break. When we return, we've got another group there that haven't spoken. Want to hear their voices, want to hear their experiences. And for you as well who's watching us from wherever you are, please send in your messages as well. We'll be right back.